Welcome back to ExPhi. Today we're going to be looking at what is sentiment analysis for philosophy. Now, sentiment analysis is a type of automated text analysis where computers attempt to understand human speech and writing. Check out our previous video on automated text analysis for philosophy for a general primer on what we're talking about. Specifically, sentiment analysis attempts to quantify the emotions or sentiments expressed in a particular text or a set of texts. Now, sentiment analysis can generally take one of two forms. You can have dictionary sentiment analysis and machine learning sentiment analysis. We'll start by giving a fairly clear explanation of dictionary sentiment analysis, just to give you the basics of kind of how sentiment analysis could work, and we'll move on to the machine learning version. We won't get into the technical details of the machine learning version, but just to give you an understanding of a bit of the interface you might be working with. So, with dictionary sentiment analysis, what you're doing is you're matching words to sentiments. There's a dictionary that the computer looks at that says this word has this sentiment, whether that's positive or negative or related to a particular emotion, and it just counts up the number of times those words appear in the sentence. So if you had someone tweet, "I love determinism," it is obviously correct. And you had a sentiment analysis program checking all of the tweets about determinism to see if they're positive or negative, it would code this as positive because it would pick out the word love and the word correct as positive words, code those as ones, code everything else as zeros, count it all up, and say we've got two positive, no negative, and so our net value of this sentence is 2. You might also pick out a tweet that says, "I hate Stoicism, it's complete nonsense." We say we're searching Twitter for all of the opinions about Stoicism. Here, you would code hate and nonsense as negative, so those would each get a -1. For example, different programs use different things, they use different levels or valences. This is just a basic example to give you a sense. We would have 0 positives, 2 negatives, and so we would have a net of -2. This is one way you commonly do it, of subtracting your negative emotions and adding your positive emotions, so you get a net average valence of negative if it's average negative or positive if it's average positive. And finally, you could have a tweet like this: "I like philosophy, but it can be really confusing." Here we clearly have one positively coded word and one negatively coded word, and so we would have one positive and one negative. So if you're counting those separately, you could distinguish them. But if you're only counting the net, it would be the same as a tweet or a statement that was completely neutral. So that's the basics of how dictionary sentiment analysis works. You have a static dictionary that's been coded in by humans of which words are positive and which ones are negative, and the computer is just matching those words and counting up the numbers. It can be very useful. But it struggles often to deal with particular contexts. For example, the word like could be in a positive context, or it could be used in a simile. This is like that, and so not really being used in a positive context. The dictionary sentiment analysis struggles with the context, and that's where we have things like machine learning text analysis. So, the other way to do sentiment analysis is through machine learning. Machine learning systems often may start with a dictionary of some kind, but then are trained by humans on statements that could be positive, negative, or neutral to learn the context of a particular topic. Often these are used by businesses that want to gauge the sentiment on a particular social media platform of maybe a new product that they put out. They will start by reading all the comments and reading all the tweets and coding in for the machine: this kind of comment is negative, this kind of comment is positive, and after a while, the machine learning system will build up the algorithms and the regressions to figure out for itself what matches to positive and what matches to negative. You train it on testing data until it's good enough to run, and then you give it the real data, and it goes crazy. So the machine learning systems are trained by humans on statements that can be positive, negative, or neutral, and then they attempt to discern patterns using algorithms and then predict what sentiment a given new statement has. In the same way, the predictive text software on your phone might learn the way that you text and the way that you write and the words that you use and try to guess what the next word is. Unlike dictionary sentiment analysis that you can do in Excel but doesn't know context very well, machine learning requires more powerful systems than just a spreadsheet. Right now, we only have the capacity to run dictionary sentiment analysis, but we are looking into some options for bringing in some machine learning sentiment analysis to test some of those deeper sentiments with our Twitter scraping. There's a number of different dictionaries that are out there with various strengths and weaknesses. As we add more videos on this channel, we're going to explore several of them. So check out each of the different videos to learn about new dictionaries that are used for sentiment analysis and new techniques that are used for it. So with that, thanks for watching. Are you aware of any good machine learning sentiment analysis systems? We've checked out a couple, but I would love to hear anyone's thoughts of what a good one we could invest in is. And are there any sentiment dictionaries that we should be aware of, that we should be checking out and showcasing here on the channel? Watch this video and more of all sorts of cutting edge, weird, experimental philosophy stuff we're doing here with ExPhi. And as always, check out new videos every week on carneades.org. And stay skeptical, everybody.